hours, reviewing stories and happenings of the week from Sunday to Friday. Join our presenters as they discuss and shed light on some of the highlights of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. If you are a lover of news, you will definitely love this package. The Week in Focus. The Week in Focus comes to you every Saturday from 8 to 10 hours, reviewing stories and happenings of the week from Sunday to Friday. Join our presenters as they discuss and shed light on some of the highlights of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. If you are a lover of news, you will definitely love this package. The Week in Focus. The Week in Focus comes to you every Saturday from 8 to 10 hours, reviewing stories and happenings of the week from Sunday to Friday. Join our presenters as they discuss and shed light on some of the highlights of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. If you are a lover of news, you will definitely love this package. The Week in Focus. The Week in Focus comes to you every Saturday from 8 to 10 hours, reviewing stories and happenings of the week from Sunday to Friday. Join our presenters as they discuss and shed light on some of the highlights of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. If you are a lover of news, you will definitely love this package. The Week in Focus. The Week in Focus comes to you every Saturday from 8 to 10 hours, reviewing stories and happenings of the week from Sunday to Friday. Join our presenters as they discuss and shed light on some of the highlights of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. If you are a lover...
Good morning, mwakabwanji, mulishani, mwabukawuti, mwabuka vyepi, mwakosa vyepi, whichever place, whatever language, whatever tribe that you speak, you are welcome to the Week in Focus. Today is the first one in February. This is the first week in Focus, where we're focusing on the week, the first week of February. It is the 7th day of the month, and so we are 7 days into the week, and so into the month. So that is the first week of February, and more so, it's my birthday, so I'd like to say thank you for those messages that have been coming my inbox. People wishing me well, and I'm so grateful to God for getting me to this place. I had just seen the faithfulness of God over the years. He's been so good to me. God has done me no harm. He's been so good at all times. He has never offended me. God has been so good. And so to those of you that are celebrating your birthdays, it's a happy birthday to you as well. And so we're grateful to God for that. And so as we continue in looking at the Week in Focus, there's been a lot happening. A lot different things happening over the week. We're talking about news in the world and news specifically in Zambia, the different happenings as it were, and you might have come across many events, happenings where we told that there was some a clash of the footballers, someone dying, just clashing into a goalkeeper, and then someone dies like that. sad information indeed. And a boy, drowning in Chivolia, such happenings. And then we talk about the political field and different events of the week. And so there's been a lot. And so you're welcome to the Week in Focus. My name is Martin Lutuna, as always. And so today I'd like to take you through on this journey of what happened in the week, what you could have missed if you perhaps you came across it, and you need to be reminded. It's that time that we get to do that. And so more so in Zambia over the week, we had a presidential visit. That's a state visit of a Ghanaian president in the name of the president of Ghana. Of course, is a new president, and the one that was there. So it's actually John Dramani Mahama, the Ghanaian president that visited Zambia and was in the country for 3 days. 3 days that President Dramani Mahama visited Zambia on official visits, and at the invitation of the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who invited the President of Ghana to come through. And it's rare that, we have visits from Ghana. Ghana hasn't been so much of a visit to Zambia. Not even, I think, ourselves. The last time we had a president going to Ghana, it's taken some time. And so this was like, strengthening those bilateral relations where we get to have that country as well as synchronizing with Zambia. So this is like state-to-state relations, and so diplomatic ties, as it were. So we have the president of Ghana, president of Zambia as brothers, wanting to strengthen those relations, people-to-people ties, which saw both countries signing multiple memoranda of understanding. These memorandum of understandings, such as the waiver of the visa waiver, where you as a Zambian, you can go to Ghana without having a hassle of getting that visa, for you to go to Ghana. It's waived off. Like, the MOU that was signed was to waive off all that. The Ghanaian coming to Zambia, you like visa free, where somebody will just, it's waived off. You don't have to struggle. Let me go to the embassy until you are cleared, and then you do it. So this has been something that is waived off in that agreement. It's good news, isn't it? It's good news for Zambians, good news for Ghanaians, in that as long as you have money for the air ticket, or you want to go by bus or anything going closer to West Africa, you can do that. And so there is that waiver that happened. Other agreements also, air services. There was that MOU that was reached on the air services, health cooperation. We're talking about the two countries, promoting health cooperation, the defense and disaster risk management. That was another MOU that was signed, and different others that we saw the two presidents getting to sign. And more so, you see that at the airport when he was just landing, he was, dressed in this Ghanaian chitenge or Ghanaian material that looked, the commentators have said, it was like a woman dress or woman top, but according to them, that is a Ghanaian cloth. It's Ghanaian swag, if you like. So it was swagged Ghanaian. So this is how it was swagged, and then you saw that it was a talk of the week, that people got to comment about that outfit for President Mahama, that people have, even Zambians have started. We've adopted that some of them, like you saw a journalist from ZNBC put on the same, and different others. I'm sure there's been that inspiration by the Ghanaian president that some Zambians have adopted. We're talking about even the food that Ghanaians eat. That was like a promotion. So we see that because of this visit of the president of Ghana, the two countries now begin to share different cultures and different traditions, customs. So it's an international or inter-custom interchange where you get to do what your other friend is doing. So you become brothers. You are peers by nature, that you get to share many things. So the values, the customs, and different other things that exist between the two countries are now interchanged. That I'm sure I will see even Zambians getting interested in Ghanaian young men marrying Ghanaian women, Ghanaian men marrying Zambian women, because of this interchange that has happened. And of course, the waiver to the visa fees and whatnot, then it means that there will be travels, between Zambia and Ghana. So if you want to get a wife, you go to Ghana. If you want to get a wife from Zambia, you go to Zambia. So this kind of different other tourist attractions that begin to happen. And so even for the church, you want to go and preach in Ghana, there is that opportunity that has opened. If a Ghanaian preacher wants to come to Zambia, there is that opening that has come. So there's going to be an inflow of forex and whatnot. So there's going to be that economic boost, of course. Ghana benefiting from Zambia, and Zambia also benefiting from Ghana. So there's in the tourism sector, mining sector, different other MOs signed, speaking to that challenge in terms of investment, in terms of cooperation and agriculture, and different other MOUs that speak to that fact. And so this is what we saw happen with that visit, which was actually beneficial. I must confess that because of that interaction between our President Hakainde Hichilema and President Mahama, there are benefits that are coming, as it were. So we're grateful to the President of Ghana and our President. Someone is watching. Let's get to hear. Hello there. Hello, you are through to the Week in Focus. Hello? Hello there. Hello? Okay, I will cut that. I'm sure someone is trying to call. If you must get in touch, you can come through on 0974 578988. 0974 578988 or 0961 237304. 0961 237304. The numbers are crawling on the screen. If you must get to call us, you please can come through. You want to tell us some events that happened which we missed in the news. Please feel free to share those stories with us on those numbers that I've mentioned, and then we get to interact. We'll check out what happened in this clip that is going to show the president of Ghana and the president of Zambia interacting on that. Stay tuned. I'll be back with you on the other side.
They believe that borders should never... Indeed, in our discussion, first in the tete-a-tete I had with President, my brother, it was so striking, the similarities in the trajectory that our countries are traveling, especially at this particular time. As he said, our founding fathers fought for independence, and our countries have spent several decades with mixed results. But we've come to a defining moment where Ghana and Zambia seem to be twins of the same mother, going through the same economic and financial challenges, having the same structure of the economy, mining playing a very important part in terms of value to our gross domestic product. And so, talking, we realized that we both face the same challenges. And when we went into the bilateral meeting, it was very obvious that we both were thinking along the same wavelength. And so we got so engrossed in the bilaterals that we actually went long beyond the time we had awarded to hold the bilaterals. And it was a very fruitful time. We shared best practices. There are some things that you're doing very well that we can learn from, and there are some things that Ghana is doing very well that Zambia can learn from. And so we explored all those areas, and indeed, between my brother, His Excellency, and myself, we agreed that, notwithstanding the continental alliances that exist, we must underpin those continental alliances by forging stronger bilateral relationships between our two countries. And so we propose to have an enhanced economic development cooperation partnership agreement that will be higher than just the permanent joint commission for cooperation. And so we have actioned that immediately, and indeed we agreed to take some immediate steps as soon as I get back to Ghana. And I can assure you, Your Excellency, that I will act as expeditiously as I can on the issues that we discussed. From the moment I arrived in Lusaka, I have felt genuinely at home. The warmth of your welcome at the airport, the ease of our conversations, and the generosity extended to my delegation remind me why Ghana and Zambia share a bond that goes far beyond diplomacy. This is not a relationship of convenience. It is a relationship of history, shared struggle, and a deep belief in Africa's destiny. Permit me to share a small personal moment. Early today, during our discussions, my brother, the President, and I briefly stepped away from the formal agenda. We spoke quite simply about leadership, about the weight of expectations of our people, and about the responsibility we carry to leave our countries better than we came to meet them. It was an honest conversation between two African leaders who understand that leadership is not about power, but it's about service. That moment for me captured the true spirit of this visit, and I thank you, my brother, for inviting me. Our founding fathers, Kwame Nkrumah and Kenneth Kaunda, dreamed boldly of an Africa that stood united, confident, and free to chart its own course. They believed that borders should never divide African brothers and sisters, and that solidarity must be lived, not merely declared. Tonight, I feel strongly that we're honoring that legacy these two great men left. The agreements we signed today, especially the decision to allow visa-free travel between our two countries, are more than diplomatic instruments. They are statements of trust, and they say to our people, you belong with one another. Our cooperation in health, education, air transport, defense, and other areas reflect our shared commitment to finding African solutions to African challenges. I was also deeply honored to address the National Assembly of Zambia earlier today, and I wish to thank the Right Honorable Speaker for your warm welcome. Standing in that chamber, I was reminded that democracy on our continent has been nurtured through sacrifice and resilience. Though separated by geography, Ghana and Zambia are closely bound by the same values and aspirations. Last night, I met with the members of the Ghanaian community living here in Zambia. They spoke warmly of the hospitality they enjoy and the respect they are shown. On their behalf and
so that is what happened with the state visit of President Mahama of Ghana, with President Hakainde Hichilema, state banquets and all those interactions that you saw. That is exactly what happened until he left for Ghana. And so we're grateful for that visit. We expect more of that. Now, moving on, in Zambia, there was the signing of the bill number 7 that was now made into law, and that the president assented to that bill to make it law. So Bill 7 allows therein that there be delimitation of constituencies. And so in that delimitation of constituencies, we see that the Electoral Commission of Zambia now has decided, or has announced, if you like, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. We saw the chairperson, Madam Mwangala Zalumis, giving that announcement to say there will be a creation of 70 new constituencies. So Zambia will now have an extra 70 new constituencies, and then that is part of the ongoing delimitation process for the August 2026 general elections. Now remember, on the 13th of August, Zambia will go to the polls. On 13th of August, we'll be voting from as early as 6, I think, to the close of the day. So you need to prepare yourself a voter's card, the NRC. You need to have a rage, if you like, rage per side, and even a voter's card. Those are the two things you need, just a voter's card and NRC. And you must have verified your details by now. I think ECZ did conduct a verification process, verification program, where people who did not register, they needed to register. You needed to get your NRC, you needed to get your voter's card, you needed to verify the details. And so all that has been said. And so ECZ, as of now, I think their focus is on making sure that the 2026 August 13 general elections succeed. And so that is what they are working on. And if you remember, like in Mpika, there's supposed to be a by-election, but now because of this time, which is we're talking about 180 days, even towards the general election, it indicates that there mustn't be any by-election before that. But now, looking at that, we had the minister himself make mention to say that that cannot happen because of the period in which we are, because that would disturb the electoral calendar. And so we see there that now constituencies will increase the number from 156, because currently Zambia has 156 constituencies, talking about the 10 provinces: Muchinga, Lusaka, Southern, Copperbelt, Northwestern, Luapula, Central, and all those. So the Eastern and the Western, all the provinces that are in Zambia, 10 of them have 156 constituencies. And so when you add 156 plus 70, it's giving us 226 constituencies. That is what we'll have by August 13th, when we're going to the polls. We should be working on making sure that 226 constituencies are voted, and so I'm sure it will take time even to announce those results, because it means the numbers has increased. So it's going to be a lot of work. We can only feel for ECZ, because they'll have to do a lot of counting and votes coming from this part, that constituency. So the votes, that will be a long process. We just pray that they enhance this process of voting, and as well as counting of votes. And there was a suggestion that there be metric, electronic voting and stuff like that. That would have made it very easy. But now, because of looking at the percentage of those that use smartphones and whatnot, so the percent in Zambia is just about 30% or so. Then the rest, the majority, do not have those gadgets. And so maybe we should have combined. Those that want to vote electronically, they do it. Those that want to go manually to the polling station, they do that as well. So I'm sure ECZ should have accommodated that. That would have been fun, isn't it? It would be nice to see people not having to struggle to go and line up, like some people would say, no, I can't go, I can't wake up early in the morning to go and queue up just to vote. So some people would rather stay at home, which is differentiating yourself, because you have a right to vote. You are called upon to do that, and then you choose to disenfranchise yourself, that you don't want your voice to count. You stay away. Then that is the wrong thing to do. So it's as long as you're a Zambian, bona fide Zambian with a green registration card, you are supposed to vote. It's your duty. It is your right that you go and cast your vote. So with consultations scheduled at district and provincial levels before final publication, that is ECZ, they have scheduled consultative meetings in districts and provinces. So they'll go to the province, they go to the districts, and then therein there will be official announcement to say this constituency has been divided as such. There is an addition here, so that is how they will lead us. So the changes will take effect after the dissolution of Parliament. So when Parliament is dissolved, 90 days before August. So we're talking, let's count back August, July, June, May. The month end of May, Parliament should dissolve. And so when Parliament is dissolved, then campaign period begins. And so when that happens, then the constituencies would have taken effect. So 226 constituencies, those that are vying for these political offices as councillors, as council chairpersons, members of parliament, presidents, you need to target those constituencies, 226 of them. You need to track, you need to prepare yourself to make sure that you do that. Let's get to see what the chairperson of ECZ had to say concerning these 70 constituencies. And still the lines are open. If you must get to interact with us, you call those numbers, then we get your feedback. Let's see what happened.
As we are all going to be districts, and we hope that we can all find you in districts so that you can participate in these districts. During the forthcoming district sittings, stakeholders will be invited to make oral and written submissions on proposed boundaries and constituency names. I'll repeat that. During the forthcoming district sittings, stakeholders in those districts will be invited to make oral and written submissions. So that's where the submission is supposed to be whilst the district sittings are going on proposed boundaries and constituency names. As you know, a name is very important. It represents a lot of things. So the people in the district or in the constituency have to be agreed on what names they want to give the constituencies. These consultations are not symbolic. They are substantive. The Commission expects proposals to be supported by evidence, consultation, and consensus at the local level. Upon conclusion of the district delimitation, stakeholders meetings, the Commission will proceed to visit each of the 10 provinces to receive the submissions from the districts within respective provinces. The receipt of submissions at the provincial headquarters will run from the 23rd of February to the 16th of March 2026. The full schedule of the dates for each province will be shared via print media, community radio stations, and other official Commission social media pages. The Commission will review all submissions and determine the 70 additional constituencies to be established. The Commission will review all the submissions and determine the 70 additional constituencies to be established. So your participation, your submissions are very important in those districts, not outside the district, in those districts. The names and boundaries of the new constituencies will be published in the Government Gazette by 15th April 2026 and will be shared via print media and official Commission social media platforms, including community radios in the districts. The constituencies will take effect at the next dissolution of Parliament in line with constitutional requirements. As you noted, that on the 15th of April, this will be published in the Government Gazette, but the dissolution of Parliament is in May. But they only take effect after the dissolution of Parliament. The constituencies will take effect, as I said, at the next dissolution of Parliament, in line with the constitutional requirements. Now, implementation of the mixed member proportional representation electoral system. Distinguished participants, let me now address the change in the electoral system following constitutional amendments. Let me now address the change in the electoral system.
So that was the ECZ chairperson, Mangala Zalomes, giving us that announcement to say 70 more constituencies will be added to make it 226 constituencies Zambia will have by August 13th, 2026. Yes, now you remember, some of you, that the other week we were talking about farmers having not been paid. Many of them that supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency weren't paid until after a long time, such that they had to spend nights by the banks, and there was that commotion that was taking place. If you pass through shopping mall, those of you that have that are banks at the mall, you find that the farmers were crowded there, and so there was that commotion which was happening until government intervened. And so when government intervened, they actually disbursed 11,000, that is 11.3 billion kwacha that was disbursed, to the farmers by the government. So that said, it means that all the dues that the government, FRA, had to the farmers were cleared. So at the moment, there isn't a farmer that will claim not to have been paid. If you're a farmer and then you say, no, I wasn't paid or something, we want to hear if indeed that has happened. But from our standpoint and where the government stands is that there are no dues. None of the farmers that supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency is being owed by government. And I'm sure Honorable Mtoro Pili had indicated that and confirmed to say there isn't any other farmer that has not been paid. So all the farmers have been cleared. So Parliament has been informed that maize purchase for the 2025 marketing season reached over 1.66 million tons, valued at approximately 11.3 billion kwacha from more than 846,000 farmers nationwide. So government officials reported payments are being made at banks. You hear that? Banks continuously, including weekends. So even during weekends, the payments were still being made, with the balance being settled as farmers are paid. So all the farmers are being paid according to a government stance by the Minister, Honorable Mutoro Piri, who indicated to say there is no farmer that can claim to say they are not paid. They have all been paid. There is money that was dispersed. And from our own findings as Light TV, we discover that farmers prefer to supply maize to FRA. Sorry about that. I wanted to say ZRA, but it's FRA. So farmers in rural areas or where they love to supply maize to FRA, because this is a trusted entity. They know that they won't be swindled like they are swindled by the briefcase buyers. Briefcase buyers will just come with a scale that is adjusted, if you like, to their liking, that you think that it's 50 kg, meanwhile it's whatever they've done to adjust. It's like, you go to the market and they are selling you, is it carpenter or fish, and you don't know that they have turned, like, that measuring can or something, they'll put another one inside. They put one on top like this, and then when they put those things, and the lady will just be pouring in the plastic bag, and then immediately takes it back, and so you can't see what exactly is happening. Is it millimeter? They are measuring for you. It doesn't show the exact measurement, and so briefcase buyers, they take advantage. They'll do that. Go out in the rural area where the unsuspecting farmers, or some of them don't even understand these measurements, they'll put their maize on that scale, only to find that they have been swindled. They are paid less because they were told your maize is weighing so much. Meanwhile, the farmer knew when they were starting off from the village that they were going to get a lot of money, but then it's not there. Not so with FRA, because Food Reserve Agency, they make sure that the measurement is correct as per standard. Even Bureau of Standards and the Consumer Rights Protections, they make sure that that is followed. So as a government, they make sure that measurements are such. So the farmers, even in my village, when I go there, that they confirm to say they would rather supply Food Reserve Agency than a briefcase buyer. Unless there's urgent need, will they get to a briefcase buyer, but then that will be not so much, just a few, 1 or 2 bags, and they sort out what they want to do. But if they must wait, they are patient enough, they take it to FRA, and so FRA must look for money and then pay them, as it were. So that is what happens as regards that. Let's take to see what the minister said in Parliament concerning this story. Stay tuned.
Notes our movement from 543,000 to 1.7 million metric tons. This particular activity, Madam Speaker, is because our president and the UPND government loves the people. This movement, Madam Speaker, is because our president and the UPND government cares for the farmers. This movement, Madam Speaker, is because our president and the UPND government knew that it would deliver the money to the farmers the way we have done. And Madam Speaker, it is because of this that we are saying the president still has work to do, and therefore he should be voted back in office. in August, so that he can still deliver. So we're urging everyone to vote for this man who is able to move from 543,000 to 1.7 million and was able to calm us down and so that we withstand the pressure that was there. Madam Speaker, it was quite a bit of pressure. If I was to allow my hair, Madam Speaker, it would be not different to yours right now. Now, getting back, Madam Speaker, to the issue, the honorable member says, why don't we get back to the numbered days so that people can be paid at the sheds? Madam Speaker, this is a very, very honorable House and facts should be taught. Numbered collapsed because of that very activity. Numbered was buying everything and there was no private sector participation. If you look at the history of this country, we had two budgets. One, the national budget, which we look at, and then there was another one for numbered specific. If we get back to that, we will be sure to collapse the Food Reserve Agency. We need private sector participation to buy part of the maize. You yourselves, honorable members, to buy part of the maize and export. Because that time maize was controlled. Now it is not controlled. Anyone can buy and anyone can export. If we allow this to be a private, to be a government activity, we will be planning for failure. Madam Speaker, we want to produce 10 million metric tons. We consume 3 million metric tons. Are you sure that the agency can on its own buy 7 million metric tons? The answer is obviously no. Nowhere in the world does that happen. Everywhere there's private sector participation. Coming to the payments, Madam Speaker, the current payment model, which we are now encouraging, is that we will pay money directly into the funds of the farmers. We will also pay money directly to the accounts of the farmers. Very few, and we are minimizing, I use the term minimizing, we are minimizing across-counter payments. It's something we need to do slowly as we educate our farmers, as we have confidence from the people that their money will go. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Muchinga.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
That is what the minister there had to say as regards the farmers and the money is being paid, all of it to them. So we're grateful to government, grateful to FRA for ensuring that our mothers, our sisters, our brothers that work hard to produce food were paid off. Continuing on in the week in focus, we talk about the fact that the Minister of Internal Security, Minister of Local Government and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, did indicate that there will be no by-election in Mpika. So Mpika, there won't be a by-election as it were. There will be no by-election in Mpika following changes in electoral law and constitutional provisions for the 2026 general elections. Electoral and constitutional experts note that new provisions relating to nomination procedures and by-election rules under recently amended law have affected the scheduling of by-elections. So there has been that, effect on the amendment and the scheduling of by-elections because of the time. We talk about the law states that when it's 180 days to the general election, there mustn't be any by-election. But of course, this Mpika one should have happened because the effect actually it starts on the 13th of February. That should have come into effect because if you count from 13th of February going to August, that should make a meaning of about 180 days. So now it was suggested that there mustn't be a by-election because it may disturb the scheduling of even the general election. That is what we had to hear. Let's take a look at what the minister had to say regarding this.
Today, we gather on this significant occasion, Wednesday, 4th February 2026, to commemorate World Cancer Day.
Zambia today joined the rest of the world in commemorating World Cancer Day at China Grounds and Lusaka under the theme United by Unique. The event was officiated by Minister of Health Dr. Elijah Muchima, who also toured various exhibition stands showcasing cancer prevention, screening and treatment services. Cancer is a disease caused by the uncontrolled growth of abdomen cells in the body and remains one of the country's leading causes of death. Zambia records over 15,000 new cases annually, with more than 9,000 deaths representing 60% mortality rate.
This is not merely a date on the calendar. It is a day that unites us in a shared mission to combat one of the...
Sorry for playing you a wrong clip, but now let's zero in and continue. So Zambia and Ghana sign visa waiver for free travel. Free traveling to Ghana to Zambia. So Zambia and Ghana have signed a visa waiver agreement that allows citizens of both countries, that is Zambia and Ghana, to travel to each other's territories without the need for a visa. I just need to have my NRC and then go to the airport, and then they'll allow me to go to Ghana. The landmark move is expected to boost tourism, business exchanges, and cultural interaction between the two countries. There's going to be that cultural interaction, and like I said at the preamble, this is what is going to happen between the two countries. Let's take a look. Okay, we seem not to have that clip. We continue. Public service salaries rise, meal allowance increased. So the government and public service unions have agreed to increase monthly basic salaries for public service employees by 700 kwacha across the board. Effective January 1st, 2026, the daily meal allowance has been raised from 150 kwacha to 175. Other conditions of service remain unchanged, while further discussions continue on administrative matters. Let's see if we have that clip, then we can show it to you. We seem not to be having it as well. The other story that happened is that IBA warned broadcasters to be wary of graphic footage. You know, IBA observed that, there's been this footage where a TV station just captures, and then you show people, even if you've warned them to say the image you're about to see will be disturbing, for them that is not enough. Like you need to do something. So that was a caution, a warning from IBA in that they issued a public advisory to all broadcasting stations to avoid airing distressing, raw or graphic footage in news bulletins, especially images related to accidents. Note that, related to accidents, violence, and deceased victims. Umuntu afa chabe azimangirira. You get that clip, you put, and without even warning the viewers. So IBA says that is not the best to do, calling for heightened editorial judgment and public sensitivity. You need to be wary of that. So it was a caution to us, the media, people that are in the media, that we see what we are showing, that we avoid graphic images, because that may be disturbing and emotional damage to the viewers. Zambia commemorates a World Cancer Day. That is another story that happened. I'm sure it's a clip that you saw of Honorable Muchima, the health minister, who you saw there. So Zambia has marked World Day Cancer Day with events at Chainda Grounds. That is what was marked in the course of the week. Zambia joining other global efforts to raise awareness, emphasis on early detection, and reaffirm commitment to fighting the disease under the theme Solidarity and Community Action. So that is what happened at Chainda Grounds, with the Minister of Health and other stakeholders that joined in commemorating World Cancer Day. Let's just take a look at that. Anthony, please give us that clip.
Today, we gather on this significant occasion, Wednesday, 4th February 2026, to commemorate World Cancer Day.
Zambia today joined the rest of the world in commemorating World Cancer Day at Chainda Grounds and Lusaka under the theme United by Unique. The event was officiated by Minister of Health Dr. Elijah Muchima, who also toured various exhibition stands showcasing cancer prevention, screening and treatment services. Cancer is a disease caused by the uncontrolled growth of abdomen cells in the body and remains one of the country's leading causes of death. Zambia records over 15,000 new cases annually, with more than 9,000 deaths representing 60% mortality rate.
This is not merely a date on the calendar. It is a day that unites us in a shared mission to combat one of the most daunting health challenges in Zambia. As we enter the second year of the 2025-2027 global campaign, we stand together under the theme United by Unique. This theme reminds us that while the disease is a collective burden, every cancer journey is deeply personal. It demands a health system that sees the person, not just pathology. It calls for a person-centered approach where care is tailored to the unique biological, social and emotional needs of every Zambian.
Meanwhile, Munali Member of Parliament Mike Mbusha has called on communities to engage regular screening, saying early detection saves lives.
I trust that the testimonies that have been given will encourage a lot of us to take responsibility and ensure that we encourage ourselves to go for early screening. Honorable Minister, it is also important that our communities must develop the culture of medical checkups. Particularly, we note in our communities the high rise of the non-communicable diseases, which could easily be detected if we develop the culture of early screening, going for medical checkups.
Cervical cancer remains the most common, with 360 cases each year, followed by prostate cancer at 1,600 cases and breast cancer, which affects 1,100 women annually.
And we are doing everything possible in terms of equipment. When we talk about cancer, there is expansion in terms of infrastructure at UTH, drawing huge sums of money. Indela Cancer Hospital is almost done. And also talking about Livingstone Cancer Hospital, almost to commence. These are efforts your president, your government is putting in place. We are spending huge sums of money evacuating people to India. It is not a leisure. It's a serious commitment on behalf of your president.
Reporting
So that is what happened at the commemoration of World Cancer Day with the Health Minister and other stakeholders. So it's actually a call that cancer is early detected. We are talking about prostate cancer, breast cancer, cervical cancer, different cancers that happen. It's incumbent on each and every citizen that you go for screening. Let's take time to go to screen. There is a cancer diseases hospital at the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, the cancer disease hospital there. You can walk in. I think it's a mandate for each and every one of us, in that, cancer diseases have become common. So those are cancers, both for men and women. Men, prostate cancer. There is throat cancer. Women, cervical, breast cancer. These cancers must be detected early. So all you do is don't pretend to be well when you must. If you notice there's something wrong, it's like a car. When you're driving a vehicle and then there's some noises, the longer it takes for you to take it to the garage, to the mechanic to fix it, it will die for you on the road. Whilst you're driving, it will just collapse, and then you won't get to your destination. So it's the same with health. Whilst you are alive, whilst you're okay, and you notice something wrong in your body, it's important that we go to the health facility, go to the clinic, go to the hospital, let them detect. Is it X-ray? Is it? Are they doing a scan? Are they doing a blood test or anything? Let you be checked. And we'll get to watch again. There's a story that I mentioned of IBA warning a graphic broadcast by the different media houses, that we stop that, and we skipped that. Anthony, give us that clip so that viewers get to benefit.
As the Independent Broadcasting Authority IBA, we wish to advise all television stations against airing disturbing and distressing images. We have noted instances where some news bulletins have aired raw or graphic footage of accident victims, death, violence, and other traumatic scenes in a manner that grossly compromises good taste and decency. While viewer discretion warnings may be issued, these alone may not be sufficient to prevent potential emotional or psychological harm, particularly to children and other vulnerable audiences. Television stations are therefore reminded to exercise strict editorial judgment by avoiding graphic images, intense violence or explicit content, avoiding repetitive distressing footage, protecting the privacy and dignity of victims, using long shots instead of close-ups to minimize the impact on viewers, blurring or cropping images when injured persons or bodies are shown only when editorially justified and in public interest. We offer this guidance in accordance with Section 5 of the IBA Act of 2002, which mandates the authority to provide advisory opinions on broadcasting standards and ethical conduct. In addition, stations are advised to adhere to Sections 1 and 2 of the IBA Standard Operating Procedures, which require broadcasters to protect audiences from harmful or offensive content. We urge all stations to strengthen internal editorial controls and ensure full compliance to maintain a safe, respectful, and responsible viewing environment.
You are still watching the Week in Focus, where we're focusing on the events that happened in the week. And so now government has indicated that following the reduction in prices, like the manufacturers should make sure that that goes to the household, where prices of commodities and goods should be reduced. Let there be an impact on household level, that the prices of goods, is it sugar, we're talking about milling, we're talking about all these commodities essential for human life, that they be reduced. So the government is certain that there must be that reduction. So let there be a ripple effect that in that, the kwacha has gained against the dollar. So they are like fighting with each other, kwacha rebounding against the dollar. And so that stability of the kwacha performance in the previous month and this month, it's incumbent upon the manufacturers, suppliers, that the goods and services be commensurate with the currency that there is, the strength of the kwacha. So that there be reduction, the cost of salt, sugar, we want to buy it at lower prices. Even as we go towards the 2026 general election, government is of a view that should be seen to work. And also there were cries by people that, ZESCO units are depleting so quickly. And so ZESCO responded to say there must be measurements put in place. Even you, the consumer, it's not for you because power is so available. Then you switch on the lights, the security lights are on the whole day. You are passing through some house and then the lights are all, broad daylight. There's even the sun and then the lights are on. In the house, inside, the lights are on. So then you find that your units are depleting before time because of misuse. Maybe this side, your babies are ironing clothes, electric. The other one is boiling water for tea. Another one is boiling. The geyser is on, and so many electrical appliances at once because people are excited with electricity that they suffered from after the load shedding, that people missed electricity. So they want to make sure that they compensate for that. So ZESCO is of a view that that mustn't happen. In the international news, there has been that confrontation or talks between United States of America and Iran. So, and of course, you know that over the years, even during the time of Barack Obama, George Bush, there has been these talks. Donald Trump came and then Joe Biden came. There has been this. So the goal is that America has been trying to prevent Iran from developing these nuclear weapons. You're talking about the ballistic missiles, the drones that would cause harm to the many lives. And so in Oman, there are talks that are concerned. Diplomatic talks that are happening over the week. And so Donald Trump sending his envoy as well, Mark Rubio, the Secretary of State, the U.S., who is there in Iran with the minister the foreign minister of Iran, and those talks that are earmarked to happen. And America also has sent soldiers there. They are men in uniform that are there in Iran to make sure that these talks succeed. They want to make sure that the talks go on as planned, and then Trump has threatened that if these talks do not happen, then there may be that action from the Americans. So it's by force, by fire, that Iran should get to be on the table with the U.S. And so over the years, U.S. is trying to stop Iran from developing these weapons of mass destruction, because the big brother America is trying to protect many of us, because if Iran just woke up and then they are throwing ballistic missiles anywhere, maybe their prime minister just decides to say today we'll throw it to Africa, we'll throw it to to Europe, we'll throw it to America, then many lives would be lost. So the big brother is saying there that stop it, Iran, you need to stop this. And so this is those are the talks that are earmarked for Oman, that U.S. as well as the Iranian government are talking about this. So we just pray that those diplomatic talks succeed, and that there is peace that reigns. As well, we're talking about Russia-Ukraine conflict that has has gone on for many years, that talks as well succeed there. So we're praying for a peaceful world, a world where there is tranquility. We want a new Jerusalem, if you like, on earth, where we are just at peace. There is no war in Iran. There is no war in Somalia. There is no war in Nigeria. There's no fights that, we just the Middle East. There is no killings there. We just want a peaceful world where the world is at peace. We love each other as brothers and sisters. We dwell together. We coexist. That is the world we look forward to, because God has promised a world of peace, a world of love, a world of joy, where he says there will be no weeping, there will be no crying, there will be no mourning, because the old order of things has passed, the new has come. So that is the world that we look forward to, not this world. This world, Jesus says, there will be conflict. In this world, there will be problems, but take heart, because he has overcome the world. So, dear friend, the only thing you do is to believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, because Jesus will give you a peaceful world. Jesus will get you to a place of tranquility, a place where there is no sorrow, a place where there is no suffering, a place where there is no sickness, where there is no death, a place where there is love, joy, and everlasting peace. That is the kind of world that Jesus has promised. And those that believe on him will never suffer. That is all you need to do. So, dear friend, this is where we come to the end of the Week in Focus. I've been your host. Martin Lutona is my name, and I guess you enjoyed watching and as well as getting to be reminded of the stories that happened over the week. So God bless you. Have a wonderful time, and stay tuned to Light Television, even as we light the world, lighting your heart out there. Thank you so much for now. Bye-bye.
The Week in Focus comes to you every Saturday from 8 to 10 hours, reviewing stories and happenings of the week from Sunday to Friday. Join our presenters as they discuss and shed light on some of the highlights of the week's interesting stories, bringing you up to speed with latest happenings. If you are a lover of news, you will definitely love this package. The Week in Focus.